What should I do with my life? Should I do anything at all in my life? And is there anything in this life and world that is worth pursuing? A nihilist would answer no. According to the Internet Encyclopedia of Philosophy, a true nihilist would believe in nothing, have no loyalties, and no purpose other than perhaps an impulse to destroy. I wouldn't choose nihilism, but if you ever mulled over the meaninglessness of life and wondered why should I exist, then I suggest that you watch one of my previous videos titled Why Should You Live, which is all about answering this basic question of life. You can find it above in the I button or in my playlist mentioned below in the description. Now this video is all about answering another basic question of life. Once you have made the choice to live, which is, what should I live for? According to most religions, you should live your life on earth in the service of God so that you are granted entry to that higher realm called heaven. Philosophers down through the ages have given various answers to this basic question. The German philosopher Immanuel Kant said that you should live for performing your duty for duty's sake. To quote him, perform your duty for no motive other than the unconditioned esteem for duty itself. The alternative to such view is the idea that you should live for happiness. Even if it is happiness that one should live for, we see a lot of varying viewpoints. Philosophers have debated over the issue of whose happiness should you live for, your own or that of others. For example, according to the philosophical tradition of utilitarianism, our moral duty is to maximize the pleasure and minimize the pain of the greatest number of people. Remember that utilitarianism requires that we consider everyone's pleasure, not just our own. I'll be making another video on why you should live for happiness and why it should be your own happiness. But in this video, let me take it for granted that one should live for their own happiness. Let me also make it clear that I'm not advocating hedonism, according to which the good is whatever that makes you happy. Now let me draw your attention to the issue of happiness. To put it in simple words, you feel happy when you get what you want. So if you want to live and produce, then happiness for you will be in the service of life and production. On the other hand, if you want to die and destroy, then your happiness will be in the service of death and destruction. But the quality of happiness that these two sets of people, that is, lovers of life and haters of life, experience will not be the same. One experiences the joy of existence, while the other experiences a moment's relief from the constant anxiety he feels due to the evading of existence or reality. Happiness may seem to be subjective in nature, in a narrow sense, but if we consider happiness in a broad sense, then it is objective in nature. Because happiness that man can attain or experience is determined by the nature of being or entity that man is. So what makes one happy is determined by what one is, that is, a man or a human being. The fact that one is a man sets forth certain conditions or demands to which he has to conform if he wants to survive. And the nature of being that man is demands that he perform certain actions if he wishes to attain or experience happiness. So the assertion that one can experience happiness by doing whatever one wishes is not true. Using one's mind for the purpose of propagation of one's life in a successful manner alone will make you happy. Let us now look at the relationship between knowledge and happiness. We know from our experience that whenever we find out or understand any subject or aspect of reality, we get a sense of joy out of it. Now the question is why? The answer lies in the relationship between knowledge and the propagation of life. Happiness is an indication that one is successful at the task of living, whereas suffering is an indication that one is not able to live as one's nature demands. In other words, if you live in accordance with reality, then nature or reality rewards you with happiness. Now, to be successful at the task of living, man requires knowledge. Knowledge here means knowledge of reality and not any fictitious or pseudo-knowledge that does not correspond to reality. Only when one knows in some respect what an entity is, that is, have some knowledge about it, can one use it for the purpose of propagation of one's life. So knowledge is directly related to man's survival and the propagation of his life. So man is rewarded with happiness as and when he gains knowledge, which in turn helps him to be successful at the task of living. Now the next question that arises is it possible to master or control happiness, that is, experience happiness whenever we wish, or are we left at the mercy of chance to experience the pleasant sensation of happiness? I think that man who has mastered the material world to such a great extent can also master the non-material world or consciousness. I also think that the method through which he was able to master the physical reality is going to be the method through which he will be able to master the mental world. If it hasn't occurred to you already, let me reveal to you that only by the application of reason was man able to reach this position where he is the master of the material world around him. If mankind is to ever achieve mastery over his consciousness, then it is going to result from the application of reason alone. That's all for now. So see you in the next video, and before I end this, let me encourage you to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell notification so as not to miss any future videos from me.